The most major event in my life formed me into who I am. It brought me light and life, and I would not be here if it weren't for this. This event was when I was born. No, not that kind of born. I mean, born again as a believer of Jesus Christ. I grew up in a Christian home, but didn't accept him as my Lord and Savior until 8 years old. This defined every moment of my life since, and has affected and been affected by the environment from which I've grown up in. In regards to the person and environment theory, at that age I was forming my identity, beliefs, and sense of right and wrong, and I was curious, open to learning, and influenced by the people around me. My family, church, and Christian community created a culture that encouraged me to grow in my relationship with the Lord. My decision to become a Christian was primarily shaped by my environment. My family and church were strong in their faith and created an atmosphere where choosing to dedicate my life to Christ felt natural. Sunday school, frequent prayer, and seeing people's faith in action made an impact on me. My faith at 8 wasn't just personal, it shaped how I interacted with others, it changed how I handled friendships, school, or challenges. A year later, my dad lost his job, and supporting a family of 7 became difficult. Systems at the macro level failed my father, which affected the dynamics of my family and the systems we interacted with.
Like stopping dance and gymnastics classes. These shifts in the macro and meso level of my life affected me at the micro level. I became isolated and insecure. After 5 years, my dad finally got a stable job, and my parents felt the Lord call us to leave the church we've been at for my entire life and join a church plant. And my siblings and I were upset. We would not leave without a fight. A sort of rebellion occurred between my siblings and me and my parents. Leaving the church I grew up in was a huge transition for my family and me. Using the biopsychosocial model, I can see how it's affecting all of us in different ways. Biologically, this change caused a lot of stress, sadness, and uncertainty in my family and brought anxiety to our family structure. Psychologically, there's grief in leaving behind the church we grew up in. It felt like something was being taken away, like we were losing a piece of our identity and childhood. Socially, this was one of the hardest parts. Church wasn't just about worship. It was our community, friendships, and support systems. My siblings especially didn't want to leave that behind, and I understand that. The change in church environment and socioeconomic status during an already vulnerable time in my life shook up my sense of identity and role in my family and peers. I became a nobody in middle school and high school. After being homeschooled my entire life, it was time for me to go to school for the very first time. I started college at El-Tri-C in 2022, and it was surreal. Walking through the hallways with people rushing to get to classes with their backpacks on felt like I was in a Disney movie. I'll never forget sitting in the classroom on my very first day, spreading out 5 sharpened pencils across my desk and setting my new notebook and folder neatly in front of me. I finally felt like a real student. I think my homeschooled background gave me a fresh perspective on school over my peers because due dates, frequent grading, and group projects were all new and exciting for me, which led me to work hard and prove myself. I went on to become the president of Campus Christian Fellowship, the Christian club on campus. There, I met so many people and became more confident in myself and strong in my faith. I'd argue joining the leadership of that club was one of the best decisions of my life and changed the way I interact with both people and the Bible.